a real nightmare. Everywhere you turn, it's like something to do with the shutdown. So it's pretty sad.
Tonight, effects of the country's longest government shutdown linger as the U.S. sets up for a vote that could get the government back up and running. Good evening. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Crystal Bailey. House Speaker Mike Johnson expects the House will vote on a Senate compromise to reopen the government tomorrow. Now, ahead of that vote, the U.S. Supreme Court extended its order blocking full SNAP benefits to states. The order does not include a ruling on the lower court orders that required the White House to keep the full payments flowing during the federal shutdown. The Trump administration previously requested that the court continue to block states from receiving full funding because saying that the money would be needed elsewhere. Now, the court case might soon be moot if the House votes tomorrow to fund the government and food payments resume. Now, today, President Trump spoke about the upcoming vote at a Veterans Day service at Arlington National Cemetery.
We're opening up our country. Should have never been closed. Should have never been closed.
House Democrats say they will not give up efforts to extend expiring Obamacare subsidies. Part of the Senate compromise to reopen the government includes a Republican promise to vote on that issue next month. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Democrats will fight to add the subsidies to the House bill that's coming up tomorrow.
Largest cut to Medicaid in American history. Hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health centers closing all throughout the country. And of course, because of the Republican refusal to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits in the midst of a cost of living crisis that already exists, that they failed to address, health care for people all across this country is on the brink of becoming unaffordable.
House Speaker Mike Johnson plans to swear in Arizona Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalda before tomorrow's vote. Now, she's been waiting to take office for weeks, and Fox 10's Ashley Rodriguez spoke with her and Arizona Republican Andy Biggs about the battle to get the government running again.
Arizona House Democrats don't like this deal. In fact, most House Democrats are expected to vote against it, but most Republicans are expected to vote in favor of it. And if they can get all 219 Republican members to vote for this, the shutdown could be over by Thursday morning.
Some people are coming in tomorrow, some people coming in tonight, a lot of people driving in to ensure that they get there in time. So we'll all be there with bells on, ready to vote.
Hundreds of Congress members are descending on D.C., told by Speaker Mike Johnson to be in place and ready to vote to reopen the government by Wednesday, 6 p.m.
So, no, I'm not going to vote for it.
Johnson's first order of business is to swear in Tucson's Adelita Grijalva, who has now waited 49 days. She and most House Democrats will be voting against the Senate's funding plan, which extends government funding through January 30th, funds SNAP benefits through fiscal year 2026, reverses Trump's federal worker layoffs, does not extend health care subsidies, but guarantees a future Senate vote on the subsidies.
It really does nothing at all to help the American people with making health care more affordable. We have people right now in Southern Arizona that received a bill that, their premiums are going not double, triple. So when you look at the consequences of us doing nothing, we're going to put people into debt, medical debt, they're going to choose not to take a health care plan.
Republicans argue the longest shutdown in history could have been avoided. SNAP benefits never had to lapse, and federal workers and air traffic controllers could have been paid.
They were told, the Democrats were told, open up the government, we'll negotiate with you, we'll meet with you. That's exact. Did they get a better deal now? Or is that the exact same deal that they were promised 6 weeks ago? By golly, it's the same deal they were promised they'd get 6 weeks ago. That's why you have so many Democrats in the House that are absolutely apoplectic, saying, we got nothing for this.
Rep. Biggs there says that he expects the House to convene around 4 p.m. That shutdown deal will come before the House around 6 p.m. President Trump is said to be standing by, and once they send him that deal with all the votes on it, he could sign it, and this shutdown could be over by midnight. We'll have to wait and see. In Phoenix, Ashley Rodriguez, Fox 10 News.
And travelers are being warned to prepare for more flight cancellations until the government reopens. This is a live look now at Los Angeles International Airport. That's one of the 40 airports across the country that reduced flights due to an airport worker shortage. Now, 6% of today's flights were canceled at those airports. The Federal Aviation Administration has not said when it will roll back flight limits. Today, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said even after the shutdown ends, cuts will persist until airport and air traffic control staffing levels stabilize.
It's a nightmare. It's a real nightmare. Everywhere you turn, it's like something to do with the shutdown. So it's pretty sad.
It's been a little strain on everybody. You could tell, especially with TSA agents, and everybody's a little bit grumpy, but the sun is looking like it's going to shine a little bit more.
Flight reductions are slated to climb to 10% on Friday, but more air traffic controllers are returning to work on the news of a shutdown agreement. Now, so far, more than 9,000 flights have been canceled since last week. Our coverage of the shutdown continues online. You can head over to westcoastwrap.com, where our local coverage continues, including a look at how the shutdown is leaving a mark on the economy. And new developments in the Turning Point USA event on UC Berkeley's campus last night that led to multiple arrests. The U.S. Justice Department saying it plans to investigate the university's response. The letter asks the campus president and police to save all communications and documents about this event. Now, KTVU News cameras did capture at least 2 violent clashes and arrests last night outside the gathering of the conservative group formed by the late Charlie Kirk. Now, Berkeley police say they arrested one man who allegedly stole a necklace. Campus police say their officers arrested 2 people, and organizers told us they were able to hold their event inside peacefully.
So passionate about this movement that we're fighting for. And despite the amount of name calling that we receive from the other side, we know that our people are not afraid to speak out.
A spokesman said from the UC will continue to cooperate with the DOJ investigation. The campus said in a statement, quote, more than 1,000 people were able to attend an event that has successfully and safely held without disruption. Now, the Trump administration may open a new ICE facility in the West. City leaders in Newport, Oregon say the Department of Homeland Security is considering opening a facility in their coastal community. They also say they're working with federal partners to get clarification on the matter. Now, tomorrow, the Newport City Council plans to hold a public meeting about the potential for that new ICE facility in their community. Newport Mayor Jan Kaplan issued a statement saying he's, quote, deeply concerned. He went on to say the well-being, safety, and values of our community are the highest priorities of myself and our city council. An Oregon man wrongfully detained by ICE agents for weeks is now speaking publicly about his experience. Agents detained Victor Cruz near Portland and sent him to a Tacoma detention facility on October 14th. His family said Cruz has no criminal record and has lived in the country legally for nearly 30 years. His daughter says a man with the same name was targeted by ICE for a criminal record. Now, she hired an attorney who filed a restraining order to get her father out of detention. Cruz says the conditions at the facility in Tacoma were inhumane.
Because you were freezing and told us to get undressed, and they gave you some uniforms that they used there, and then they put us into a cell along with another 80 people.
Now, Cruz must still wear an ankle bracelet, and his driver's license and work permit have not been returned to him. He has an immigration hearing this week. So far, there's no comment from DHS about this case. An Oregon teenager's emotional plea for his city leaders to do something about the immigration raids scaring people in his community is capturing millions of people on social media. Manny Chavez got a standing ovation after speaking at a Hillsborough City Council meeting. Fox 12's Michaela Armstrong spoke with him about his call to action.
16-year-old Manny Chavez received a standing ovation for his words at a Hillsborough City Council meeting. Now he tells me he is turning those words into action.
They don't care about us. They treat us like dogs. They treat us like animals.
A 16-year-old boy's emotional testimony about the impacts of ICE in the community at a Hillsborough City Council meeting last week that has now gone viral.
And I hope you guys really do something about it, because I really do want something to change, because I should not live like this as a 16-year-old. I shouldn't be scared. I should be focusing on school, and I can't even focus on school.
Manny Chavez says he didn't prepare, and he never knew his words would go so far. but he knew he had to speak up.
It's not just about me. What I spoke is not for me. It's for my community. It's for all colored people. It's all for my Hispanic culture.
Since the meeting, Chavez has started a fundraiser to create a Hillsborough Immigration Support Fund, which he says will support families impacted by the increased ICE arrest in the area with financial and legal help.
If I was put in a situation where my family, anyone in my family needed help, I would want people to come and help me. So knowing that I could be there for someone else that's dad or mom is going through a lot and is a main provider, I'm glad that I could be there for them and give them anything that would help.
And in just 4 days, the fundraiser is nearly at its goal of $26,000.
To me, it's really shocking. I've never seen that type of money in my life. So knowing that a bunch of people have donated their hard-earned money to help me support other people is crazy to me.
Even though he is only 16 years old and in high school, Chavez says this has given him a new passion and purpose.
I feel like this is something I would want to do after school. Instead of go to college or something like that, this feels like it was kind of meant for me, so I really do want to keep doing this.
In Hillsborough, Michaela Armstrong, Fox 12 Oregon.
Now, Chavez says efforts to help people in his community will not end with those comments at that meeting. He's also planning to hold a food drive to help families ahead of Thanksgiving. And the Department of Homeland Security says officers arrested an undocumented immigrant in Los Angeles because of a previous murder conviction in Moldova. Victoria Soroshen was taken into custody last week. Authorities say she was convicted of premeditated murder with exceptional cruelty in 2013 and sentenced to 17 years in prison. They say she fled before serving her sentence and was in the U.S. on an asylum claim. DHS says she will remain in custody as she awaits deportation proceedings. Surprises will make this Veterans Day an unforgettable one for some military families in the West.
2 gift cards in here, so that one's for $100 and this one's for $25.
Whoa, I was not expecting that. It's awesome, thank you.
And coming up, see how a nonprofit joined forces with local businesses to help service members and their loved ones.
As we take a look right now at the Port of Oakland, it is mostly cloudy, but the visibility is good. I'll tell you how that is going to change as a storm system will impact that area. Your West Coast Wrap forecast, it's all coming up after this fast Fox break.
Staff that they also welcome in our culture and find ways to find balance.
Barred from flying their own state's flag tonight, some people in Hawaii complained their neighborhood rules have gone too far. Now, we see people across the West finding ways to honor members of the military on this Veterans Day. In addition to holding traditional parades, we found groups marking graves at cemeteries with American flags. President Trump participated in one of the country's most solemn events, laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier at Arlington National Cemetery. Now, military families in Washington state are getting help they never expected today. Fox 13's AJ Janavel shows us how a nonprofit surprised them in the middle of a food distribution event.
Hey guys, happy Thanksgiving.
A line of cars.
This one's 100 and this one's 25.
With no end in sight.
Have a great Thanksgiving, you guys.
Each one filled with a military service member or their family.
Wow, I did not know it was all of that. That is so helpful.
It's Nyla Harvell's first holiday season as a Navy wife. She and her husband just welcomed their first child.
You don't get paid much, so anything helps because holidays are expensive. So just take a little bit off our plate and it helps out a lot.
And this holiday season's even tougher for a lot of military families.
And especially now with this government shutdown. And I just had a baby, so.
Lance Corporal Marissa Gonzalez just gave birth to her third child. She tells me the uncertainty of the government shutdown makes normal life a little more challenging.
That anxiety of like, are we gonna get paid? Are we not gonna get paid? Yeah. Because we normally go grocery shopping exactly when we get paid. So then it's like waiting till, you know, the 15th or the 1st. So it's definitely like planning ahead, like, okay, like, what do we need? Like, do we have enough till this day?
Unfortunately, this uncertainty is common among military families.
1 in 4 military families is food insecure.
Kelly Fagan with Operation Homefront tells me, with the help of Walmart, Coca-Cola, and Johnstone Supply, hundreds of families are leaving with a packed car of groceries
2 gift cards in here. So that one's for 100 and this one's for 25.
Whoa, I was not expecting that. Is awesome. Thank you.
As well as gift cards.
We're just here to say thank you and to try and relieve a little bit of that financial burden and say we've got you covered for Thanksgiving.
Reporting in Bremerton, AJ Janavel, Fox 13 News.
Well, a judge in Utah rejected a new congressional map drawn by Republican lawmakers in favor of a plan to create a Democratic-leaning district ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. The state was under a midnight deadline to adopt its congressional maps. Republicans hold all 4 of Utah's seats, and their maps would have protected the status quo. The map chosen by the judge will keep left-leaning Salt Lake County, mostly within one district. Utah's lieutenant government said she will immediately begin to implement the new map. And people across the Bay Area have a storm headed their way. This is a live look now at San Francisco, where an atmospheric river is expected to bring some strong winds and rain with flooding potential starting tomorrow. You can see there's some haze there. We're bringing in KTVU meteorologist Roberta Gonzalez, who's tracking that system and other conditions across the West. Roberta?
Hi there, Crystal. Good evening, and good evening to all of you. Taking a look right now at our West Coast satellite imagery, you see a whole lot of stuff going on. First of all, we're taking a look at Southern California, and this is subtropical moisture that will impact your weather at the end of the work week. But we're really focused in on this right here. It is the atmospheric river. It will bring some rain showers in throughout the Pacific Northwest, beginning with, let's say, late tomorrow into your Thursday. But primarily that targeted area is going to sweep right into the Bay Area. And we are anticipating a mighty big system, especially when it's accompanied with some gusty winds. So the bottom line is, for the San Francisco Bay Area, heavy rain is anticipated by tomorrow night. It's going to impact adversely the North Bay and the Santa Cruz Mountains. Sure, we want to say it's beneficial rains, but it's all coming at once. We're talking 1 to 3 inches of rain. It will be windy with some of these wind gusts in excess of 45 miles per hour. And then also we're talking about 1 and 2 feet of snow in the high Sierra. Now, where you see this blue area here, this is where we have a wind advisory that goes in effect tomorrow night at 10 p.m. through Thursday morning at 10 p.m. For the San Francisco Bay Area, the winds will be sustained out of the south 15 to 25 miles per hour, but the gusts up to 45. Plus offshore, we have a storm warning in effect as well. San Francisco, typically this time of the year, 66 today, 69 degrees with increasing clouds. Southern California, Los Angeles, you saw the clouds on that satellite imagery. There you have it right there towards sunset in Malibu. High temperature, 80 degrees when typically you should be at 75. Typically average high mid 70s in the Phoenix area, and today well above average. We're talking 88 degrees. And we have the flag at half staff right there in the Seattle area due to the passing of Vice President Dick Cheney. Today's high temperature in Seattle, 55, up from the average high of 52 degrees. Other notable numbers, 71 degrees today in Redding. It was also in the mid-70s, and Fresno backing all the way through Bakersfield. And how about 76 degrees in Las Vegas? Let's go ahead and reveal the 3-day forecast for the Seattle area. Again, the rain does begin, and it will be rainy, but not as much as it will in the Bay Area on Wednesday night through the morning commute on Thursday. Denver, you're well above the average high temperature of 51 degrees. Impending rain in Los Angeles, and the unseasonably warm weather continues in the Phoenix area. Crystal?
All right, thank you, Roberta. Well, Pope Leo is going Hollywood. Coming up, how the Vatican is getting ready to greet dozens of stars. Plus, some people in Hawaii are warned not to fly their own state's flag tonight. They vent the frustration they have with those rules they say need to change.
Tell him, sorry, son, we gotta take this down. We cannot fly it in our house. We can only fly the other flag. You know, it just didn't seem right.
Well, the red carpet will soon be rolling out at the Vatican. Pope Leo is set to welcome dozens of Hollywood stars to the Vatican this Saturday. He's invited several actors and directors, including Cate Blanchett, Adam Scott, Spike Lee, Alison Brie, and Dave Franco. The Vatican says the Pope is looking to deepen the church relationship with cinema and explore how artistic creativity can help its mission. Now, this comes after the Pope met with Robert De Niro and his children last week. Now, a Los Angeles County Superior Court judge may hear arguments tomorrow on a pending lawsuit against UCLA that might require the school to play every home football game at Pasadena's Rose Bowl. The Rose Bowl is trying to stop the university from playing home football games anywhere else through a temporary restraining order. Pasadena and the Rose Bowl management company also want the judge to bar the university from trying to terminate its Rose Bowl lease while their lawsuit against UCLA is pending. That lawsuit contends that UCLA wants to move its home football games to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, a violation of its long-standing lease agreement with the Rose Bowl. Now, UCLA spokesperson issued a statement on the matter saying, quote, "While we continue to evaluate the long-term arrangement for UCLA football home games, no decision has been made." Now, a homeowners association in Hawaii does not want to see the state's flag flying in one community. Fox's Nathan Shinagawa spoke with neighbors about the controversial flag ban.
The Hawaii state flag, often a symbol of identity and pride, is seen across the islands and on front yards. But that's not the case in a community in Ewa. A policy in the Ewa by Gentry Community Association says that the current guidelines only permit the display of the American flag, and all others, including the Hawaiian flag, are not allowed.
There was a couple that flew the Hawaiian flag, the Hawaii, outside their house, and they received a violation for it. So they went and appealed it to the HOA and was unanimously rejected.
To tell him, sorry, son, we got to take this down. We cannot fly it in our house. We can only fly the other flag. You know, it just didn't seem right.
In a statement, the board says, quote, "The board is reviewing this rule for revision to include the official Hawaii state flag following the procedures outlined in the association's governing documents. It remains our goal to build and support the community in a fair and representative fashion." Community members say that the announcement by the HOA is a step in the right direction, but with no official HOA meeting until January and no official confirmation of a rule change, they say that until then, they're going to continue to show support for their culture in any way that they can.
The members of the HOA are also members of our community. We love them. We want to welcome them in. We just ask that they also welcome in our culture and find ways to find balance.
Community members are planning on waving their flags at different points across Ewa.
Let's get the community together. And it's not a protest. It's not a fight. It's just, let's just wave our flags. If we can't hang it on our house, let's just wave it.
The association says it would modify the rule to allow only the official U.S. flag and the official Hawaiian state flag to be flown in areas that are visible from the neighboring property. The HOA says that they hope to have a board-revised policy before regular inspection cycles continue. Nathan Shinagawa, KHON2 News, working for Hawaii.
And finally tonight, Mega Millions players hope to rake in nearly $1 billion tonight. Tonight's Mega Millions jackpot is an estimated $900 million. That's the 8th largest jackpot in the game's history. Now, if only one person matches all of tonight's numbers and goes for the cash option, they would see about $415 million. Odds of winning the Mega Millions jackpot are about 1 in 290 million. Now, you can buy a ticket in all West Coast states except Hawaii, Alaska, Nevada, and Utah. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. We are so excited to have you here tonight and have a great night.